Hello students, and welcome to week 10 of COMM1085. I hope everyone's been doing well from home and you're staying in and taking care of yourselves. This is our first week doing online classes, so things may change as we go along, but we're going to try to stick to this format as much as we can. So this week we will be covering online search engines versus academic library database. Then we're going to talk about the types of web resources and the types of library resources available to you. Then we're going to get started on searching. We're going to discuss key areas of the library website. We're going to talk about finding databases and then touch a little bit on advanced search tools. Make sure that once this PowerPoint video is over, that you also check the new course shell, the COMM1085 online resource shell, because that will give you additional modules and practice. So let's watch a couple of videos that will show us what a Google search is like and what a library database search is like and what they have in common and what's different between the two of them. Then we'll do number 1 on the learning log together. You can follow along if you have your learning log available, but if not, we're just going to do it on the screen.
Hi, my name is Matt Cutts. I'm an engineer in the quality group at Google, and I'd like to talk today about what happens when you do a web search. The first thing to understand is that when you do a Google search, you aren't actually searching the web. You're searching Google's index of the web, or at least as much of it as we can find. We do this with software programs called spiders. Spiders start by fetching a few web pages. Then they follow the links on those pages and fetch the pages they point to, and follow all the links on those pages and fetch the pages they link to, and so on, until we've indexed a pretty big chunk of the web. Many billions of pages stored across thousands of machines. Now, suppose I want to know how fast a cheetah can run. I type in my search, say cheetah, running, speed, and hit return. Our software searches our index to find every page that includes those search terms. In this case, there are hundreds of thousands of possible results. How does Google decide which few documents I really want? By asking questions, more than 200 of them, like, how many times does this page contain your keywords? Do the words appear in the title? In the URL? Directly adjacent? Does the page include synonyms for those words? Is this page from a quality website, or is it low quality, even spammy? What is this page's page rank? That's a formula invented by our founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin that rates a web page's importance by looking at how many outside links point to it and how important those links are. Finally, we combine all those factors together to produce each page's overall score and send you back your search results, about half a second after you submit your search. At Google, we take our commitment to delivering useful and impartial search results very seriously. We don't ever accept payment to add a site to our index, update it more often, or improve its ranking. Let's take a look at my search results. Each entry includes a title, a URL, and a snippet of text to help me decide whether this page is what I'm looking for. I also see links to similar pages, Google's most recent stored version of that page, and related searches that I might want to try next. And sometimes, along the right and at the top, I'll see ads. We take our advertising business very seriously as well, both our commitment to deliver the best possible audience for advertisers and to strive to only show ads that you really want to see. We're very careful to distinguish your ads from regular search results. And we won't show you any ads at all if we can't find any that we think will help you find the information you're looking for, which in this case, the cheetah's top running speed is more than 60 miles an hour. Thanks for watching. I hope this made Google a little bit more understandable.
Okay, and next we're going to talk about library databases.
Finding databases. This video is part of a two-part series. Part 1 explains what a research database is. Part 2 will explain the benefits of searching databases individually and the options for how to find them. To understand what a research database is, which you may have never used, Let's take a look at some other types of databases that most people use every day. Very basically, a database is a collection of stuff, which you can access by searching the database. iTunes and Spotify contain a database of songs. Netflix contains a database of videos. Amazon's Kindle store contains a database of ebooks. You can even think of Google or Bing as a database of websites. But in the best case scenarios, while Google can help you find out if websites like iTunes, Netflix, or Amazon have the song, movie, or ebook you're looking for, it does not provide direct access to them. You have to pay for access. So here's the problem. In the world of high-quality, authoritative information, the type of info you should be using in your research, like academic journals and books, professional magazines, educational videos, industry reports, etc., information is rarely free. High quality equals high value, after all. So frequently you'll hit a paywall when you're Googling for information. Here's where libraries come in. Take a look at our library homepage. You'll notice a large search box. This searches various databases of books, videos, articles from journals, magazines, newspapers, and other stuff. The search box acts like Google or Bing, but from this search box you'll find stuff you can't get from searching Google or Bing, or not for free anyway. This search tool provides access to high-quality, authoritative sources that usually people have to pay for, but you can have access to for free because you're a student of the college. Great. End of tutorial, right? Why go further? Well, even though it's a massive search tool and convenient and just basically awesome, this search tool doesn't even search all databases available to you through the library. There's a lot of content you won't find when searching it. Why doesn't it search everything, you ask? We'd make everything accessible with one search box if we could, but because of the multitude of types of sources, usage licenses, rights of the copyright owners, and the competing interests of the various companies involved that produce and sell the databases, making a search of every one of our databases together is just plain impossible. And so, it's also very important to know how to find and search databases individually, which is what we will cover in part 2 of this Finding Database tutorial series.
So I hope that was helpful in giving you just a quick look into what the library databases are able to give us. Now, let's talk about some examples and see if they describe a database search, a Google search, or is it something that's accurate for both? So search results provide detailed information about each item, type of source, publication title, author, year, etc., which helps users to determine the relevance and reliability of the material. Which does this apply to? This applies to database, because Google does give you a little bit of information, but not as much as a database would. Which ones are fast, convenient, and easy to use? Both. You can use both very easily. Oops. Now, what reliability of sources is determined by humans working in groups at various editorial levels to assess the quality and potential relevance of the sources. That you can only get in a database. Google uses algorithms, so everything is automatic and it's not read over by a person. Which one is great for providing instant and mobile access to popular websites and daily information like traffic, weather, and directions? You're probably guessing right, it is Google. Which one provides free access to full-text materials that otherwise require a subscription fee or purchase? Luckily, the database, the one that we have through the library at Conestoga. Which one gives you best search results that are achieved by entering specific and strategic search terms? That is true for both. You can learn how to use some tools that will make your search more accurate. Search results include content that may not be appropriate for academic use, including personal blogs produced by amateur writers, small-scale news outlets that lack rigorous editorial policy, and corporate websites that present opinions about their products and services that are inherently biased. Yes, that one is Google. So a lot of information, but not all of it is reliable or appropriate for use in school. Which one is a tool that we use to gather information? Both. Which one has the reliability of sources, which is determined by an algorithm which assesses the quality of a site or page based on the links between pages. And if you remember the first video, that is Google. Which one allows users to access a wide variety of sources, including encyclopedias, books, newspapers, magazines, and videos? Both. You can access those things through both Google and your library database. Users are able to sort search results by individual characteristics such as source type, subject, individual publication title. That would be a database. You can really refine your search. Users are not able to sort search results by individual characteristics such as source type, subject, individual publication title. That would be Google. So now let's take a look at using different types of web resources. So this video helps us to identify different types of non-library websites. Let's think about how we might use these websites in different ways, depending on our research needs.
Selecting resource types. What type of resource is most likely to have information you need? Websites can contain anything and can be created by anyone. The challenge is to evaluate them to determine which are suitable. Here are 4 types you might use: commercial, educational, governmental, or informational. Let's take a look at these different types of websites. Commercial websites. Most companies have a website to provide information about the company and its products and services. Commercial websites usually have a .com domain name. When would you want to use a commercial website? To find information about companies, to find information about products. Educational websites. Many educational institutions will post information on the internet, including research, citation style guides, and more. To tell if a website is educational, look for a prominently placed name of the educational institution. They also often have a .edu domain. When would you want to use an educational website? To find research done by a reputable research organization, or to find good quality, reliable academic information. Governmental websites. All levels of government post information on their websites about public safety, immigration, health, taxes, and much more. Government websites usually have a .gov domain, but Canadian government websites do not. Look for the name of a government ministry or department. When would you want to use a government website? To find information about the government of a particular country, region, or city, to find information about plans, policies, research results, and statistics. Informational websites. Informational websites can be about anything and require lots of evaluation before you use them. Informational websites are very diverse and difficult to identify. They are often also commercial sites and may have a .com domain name. When would you want to use an informational website? For opinions and alternate points of view on a topic. For current information from around the world. Blogs like this one can be great sources of information and opinions. Writers post information and often create discussion on a given topic. However, evaluate blogs carefully for their authority and credibility. In this tutorial, we've explored the major types of sources and their application in research. We've also learned some tips on identifying the type of source you found. If you need more assistance, please ask at the LRC Service Desk.
All right.
Selecting resource type.
Now, how do we use the different types of web resources? So we are going to do learning log number 2 together. Of course, again, you can follow along if you have a printout, or you can just listen and we will do it together on the screen. So let's read each scenario and decide which source type is the most appropriate. What would you use in these scenarios? The options are listed below. So is it A, commercial, B, educational, C, governmental, or D, informational? So let's say you are a business student. You've been asked to write a corporate profile of a successful Canadian retailer. You have selected the company that you intend to profile, and now you need to find out more about them. For example, the products and services they offer, their mission statement, their history, etc. What kind of web resource would you use? In this case, you would use a commercial website. It's perfectly acceptable to consult a commercial website in order to find factual information about a company, its products, its policies, and so on. By contrast, we wouldn't want to consult a company's website if we were looking for a review of their products, nor would we accept as fact any subjective claims they might make about their products, because they're always going to tell you things are better than they might actually be because they want to preserve their image and they want you as a customer. So only look for the information about a company, its products, and its policies, and things like that. Okay, now imagine that you are a continuing education student taking COMM1085 online, kind of like we're doing now. You are preparing to complete the language lab assignment on subjects and verbs. You decide you would like to conduct some additional practice and review, so you are looking for a reliable set of online grammar quizzes that will also provide you with the correct answers and detailed explanations. In this case, you would use an educational website, something from a college or university. On the website of a reputable post-secondary education, you're likely to find a wide range of helpful guides, activities, videos, etc. These can be used as resources when you're studying for a quiz, but it's also possible that you'll find general factual information that you can actually cite in your own research. Let's say that you are a student in the early childhood education program. You have been asked to write a report on the real-life experiences of professionals working in the field. In addition to information that you have already gathered from articles published in trade publications and industry-specific magazines, you want to hear directly from working ECEs what their unfiltered observations and reflections on current issues are in the field. In this case, you could use an informational website. As we've already discussed, this category of website is the most broad. Many websites can be informational. So when we're looking at this kind of site, we need to ask more questions to determine if the information is reliable. In this scenario, we might consult a blog in order to hear from an actual tradesperson who is publishing their own ideas and experiences. What if you are a health sciences student? You've been asked to explore the social determinants of health in Canada. To help you find possible connections between health outcomes and social factors like education and income, you're looking for reliable statistical information about the Canadian population. Well, in this case, you would look at a governmental web resource. It may take you a few extra clicks to get the information you want, but if you spend time to browse a government website, like a federal, provincial, or municipal website, you're likely to find statistical data that you can use to provide a strong factual foundation for your own analysis. Now let's talk about the different kinds of library resources. Thorough and effective research is like a balanced diet. So when you're eating, you want to give your body the nutrition it needs, right? By incorporating a variety of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, etc. In the same way, when we're learning about a topic, we want to collect several different kinds of sources, so we can assemble a wide range of perspectives and information. So going to the market would be like going to our library resources to pick out your various research resources. Conestoga's library provides access to several different kinds of materials, each of which might be useful in different situations. Let's review the different kinds of materials that are available online in the library.
There are a variety of types of resources available to you through the library and the internet. There are books, ebooks, websites with videos, academic journals, popular magazines, marketing websites, blogs, academic websites, government websites.
That sounds like too much information.
It's true, there are a lot of different types of information sources. It's a good thing, though. Including information from a variety of resource types is so important when preparing a report, a presentation, an essay, really anywhere you are doing research at college. Why? You'll see different points of view, different approaches to a topic. You can gather both overviews and the outcomes of very specific studies. All of that put together leads to a much better final product from you. A search using the library provides an example of the wide variety of resource types available. These include encyclopedia results for background information, academic journals with the results of studies, magazine articles, news, and we can also explore books and ebooks. Which sources are best for you will depend on your topic and your assignment, but using a variety of sources is always important. You'll want to review our tutorials in the Preparing section for details and in-depth strategies around resource types. There are a variety of types of resources available to you.
Next, we're going to think about how we might use these sources in different ways depending on our research needs. So how do we select the right resource type?
Selecting resource types. What type of resource is most likely to have information you need? When you search the library, as well as the internet, you'll find a variety of types of sources are available. Why does it matter what type of source you use? To answer this question, we'll take a look at the characteristics of a few of the main types of sources you might find during your research, and the type of research you might use them for. Let's start with the characteristics of books and ebooks. Books provide in-depth coverage of topics. The publishing process for books takes time, so they're not always the most current source of information on a topic. So when would you use books or ebooks in your research? Books are best used to find in-depth information on a topic, as well as background information that will help you understand your topic. They also help you find historical information. You can find books and ebooks using the search box on the library's homepage, or by searching a specific database. You can tell when you've found a book or ebook because they are labeled in your search results. You may also find books online through Google Books, but not usually the whole book. What about the characteristics of newspapers? Newspapers are a good source of information on recent events and issues. Articles tend to be short and to the point. References are not usually included. When would you use newspapers for research? Typically, you'd use them to find information on current events and issues, international perspectives on a topic, or local information. You can find newspapers using the search box on the library's homepage, or by searching a specific database. You'll be able to tell when you're viewing a newspaper because articles are usually labeled, and you can filter to see just news articles. Newspapers can also be found on the web, but not all articles will be available in full text. To decide whether or not you're viewing a newspaper website, look for the name of a city in the title of the website. Also look for subscription information to determine if the content is released in issues or editions, usually daily. What about the characteristics of magazines and journals? Magazines and journals contain reports, research findings, discussion of news and issues, product and service information, etc. To find magazines and journals, use the search box on the library's homepage or search a specific database, and often view articles as PDFs. Magazines and journals can be popular, professional, or academic in nature. Which type you need will depend on the purpose of your research. You would use popular magazines to find up-to-date information about current events and issues written by journalists. You'd use trade or professional magazines to find information related to a specific field or profession written by experts working within the profession. You'd use academic journals to find very specific research on a topic, written by scholars in the field. To find magazines and journals, use the search box on the library's homepage or search a specific database. You'll be able to tell when you're looking at a magazine because they are labeled in a few different ways: periodical, magazine, trade publication, etc. Also, take a look at the title of the publication to see if it seems to be directed at a certain profession. If you're still in doubt, evaluate the content of the magazine to determine who the audience is. Journals are labeled journals, so it's easy to tell when you found one. You may also find magazines and journals online through Google or Google Scholar, but often not the full text. To decide whether or not you're viewing a magazine or journal website, look for subscription information to determine if the content is released in issues or editions, usually monthly. In this tutorial, we've explored the major types of sources and their application in research. We've also learned some tips on identifying the type of source you found. If you need more assistance, please ask at the LRC Service Desk. Selecting resource types.
Now, how do we use these different library resources effectively? Let's discuss which of the following types of materials would be most useful in each of the situations described in question 3. Again, this is on the learning log, but we can do it together. The options are academic journals, books, magazines, newspapers, and trade publications/journals. In this scenario, you are a trades and apprenticeship student. You have been asked to write a proposal to a hypothetical client, outlining the various materials they might choose for their new roof and recommending the material that best suits their various needs and circumstances. You want to better understand what working professionals in your field are saying about roofing materials currently available to them so that your proposal will be current and accurate. In that case, you would use trade publications and journals. This kind of resource is underappreciated in academic research. It's a great way to connect with issues, ideas, and trends that are current in your industry. Now, what if you are an engineering and IT student? You are preparing a project proposal for your third year capstone project. You want to prove that the project you are proposing is going to fill a need in the market. So you want to learn more about similar products currently available in the market, how these products have been received by the public, how similar companies or projects succeeded or failed, and other insights into your topic that are both informed but not too specific. In this case, you could use a magazine. This could include general audience magazines that aim to reach a broad audience, such as Maclean's, and more subject-specific publications that target a community of readers interested in a particular topic, like Business Insider. Coverage in either of these kinds of publications is likely to be thorough, reliable, and detailed without being overly technical, so it's something that most people could understand. It's also likely to include interviews with experts and/or people who can offer first-hand experience with the subject you're studying. If you are a public relations student and you're required to write a case study that analyzes how a major public figure has handled a controversy, you've identified a suitable public figure to study, and now you need to see how the controversy was addressed by this public figure and how it was subsequently received and discussed by the public. This controversy occurred recently, and it unfolded over several weeks. You would want to use a newspaper, because newspapers are a great source for gathering factual details about what has happened. They're equally good at capturing the details of events that are ongoing as they are at providing you insight into what transpired in the past. Make sure you're aware when you're reading a news article that seeks to provide an objective and factual report of an event or a column. Make sure you're aware when you're reading a news article that seeks to provide an objective and factual report of an event, or alternatively, if you're reading a column or editorial that intends to provide an analysis or opinion. Those are two different things. Let's say that you're a nursing student. You're learning about best practices to reduce patient-to-professional disease transmissions, and you want to find discussions of specific and recent examples of disease outbreaks where these best practices have been used. The information you are looking for needs to be evidence-based and authoritative, and the discussion needs to be informed by an expert medical perspective. So this just can't be opinions. This has to be scientifically proven information. In this case, you would use an academic journal. Information published in academic journals will have been subjected to a thorough and rigorous peer review process, which means it can be relied upon to meet the highest standards of the field in which it is published. The material published in academic journals is both written by leading experts and intended for practicing members of that field, which means that the information will likely be highly technical and detailed, and the writing will likely be advanced and dense. So if you are using an academic journal, make sure that it is in a field that you're very familiar with, and that the language being used will be understandable by your reader. Now imagine that you are a business student. You want to better understand the theory and history of supply chain management before you examine a particular topic in more detail. You're looking for factual and in-depth information, and you want it presented in a format that is organized and informative. This would be a great time to use a book. As we said, books are great for showing you some theory and history, and it gives you in-depth information. So although it may not be feasible to read an entire book, let alone several, for the purpose of this particular assignment, we can still turn to full-length books as a potential resource for background information like general theories, definitions, and historical context. You can use the table of contents and index to help you target the section of the book that's likely to include information about your particular topic. Especially when you're using an ebook, it's a lot easier. You can go to the table of contents. Sometimes you can even click on the chapter that you want and it will take you right there. Then you can also scroll down to the page number if that doesn't work. Now let's get started on searching. Let's watch this video to identify a few keys to starting a library search.
Getting started searching. How to quickly search the library to find high-quality info.
Hi, library. I'm writing a paper on electric cars. Where can I get some good information?
You should definitely use the library's collections to find high-quality information on your topic. There are a number of ways to search the library's collections, but the first place I would recommend is to try a basic search from the library homepage. In the search box, enter some keywords on your topic, like electric cars. You can quickly see that there are plenty of results from a variety of source types.
Hooray! That was really easy.
Sure was, but wait, that was a lot of results we found. Perhaps you should add some additional terms to help narrow it down. What specifically about electric cars are you interested in?
I want to find information about their cost effectiveness.
Okay, then let's add those words as well and search again. Much better.
Oh hey, there was a documentary a while back called Who Killed the Electric Car? Do you have that specific DVD? It might be interesting.
Well, let's take a look. If you're only interested in searching for a certain type of resource, you can select it from the first drop-down. If you also are trying to find a specific item, like that film, select Title from the second drop-down. That narrows down the search to look at just the titles of items in our collection. So remember these basic steps. 1. Try doing a basic search right from the library's homepage to start. 2. Try adding more specific terms to your search to narrow down your results. 3. When you know you want a specific resource, use the drop-down next to the search box to search within categories like title, author, or subject. To learn about additional tools to search and some advanced searching tips, please explore the other tutorials in this series.
Now, let's answer the following questions now that we've watched that video. So, what is the best way to begin your search? A, is it to enter basic keywords in the search box found in the library homepage? B, is it to search for a specific title in the search box found in the library homepage? C, search for the resources by subject using the Find More Resources option? Or D, click on the Get Help tab found on the library homepage. What do you think? The best way to start is to enter basic keywords in the search box found on the library homepage. What is the best way for you to narrow your search after your initial research using basic keywords produces an unmanageably large amount of results? So if you remember in the video, they got over 900,000 search results. So what's the best way for you to narrow that down? Is it to start a new search with different keywords? Is it enter additional keywords in the search boxes at the top of the results page and then click search again? Should you use the filter results tool on the top left side of the screen? Or D, assume that the result at the top of the page is the best one and start to read it and search for useful information? You should add additional keywords in the search boxes at the top of the results page and then click search again. There are various options to search for a specific kind of source using the drop-down menu on the left side of the search box. Which of the following is not one of the options? A, article, B, book, C, video, or D, website? Website is not one of the options. There are various options to indicate the search term you're using the drop-down menu on the right side of the search box. Which of the following is not one of the options? Title, author, year, or subject? Year is not an option in this section. So now let's talk a little bit more about the key areas of the library website to help you familiarize yourself with it.
4 key areas of the library website. 1. Library search. The search box on the library's homepage is a great place to start your search. Enter the keywords for your research topic or search for a specific book or article. You can also search for specific types of resources, such as articles from magazines and journals, books, videos, and so on. This search box searches a large database of many of the library's resources all at once. You can also use this search box to find additional databases to search or to search for relevant pages of our website. Lastly, you can find and search specific magazines, newspapers, and journals using this search box. 2. Browse more resources. Many people find it useful to browse our resources to select and then search databases that provide certain types of sources, like books, or search for databases that focus on a specific subject area or program. These lists take you to resources not searched by the homepage search box. Also, if you know the resource you're looking for, you can use the alphabetical list of all the databases to which the library subscribes. 3. Get help. When you click on Get Help, you'll find online tutorials, guides to specific research topics, information about citing, referencing, copyright, and more. 4. Contact us. Email, phone, chat, we're here to help. For additional information, please view the other tutorials in this series.
So, what are the key areas of the library website? 1. The library search on the home page. 2. Browse more resources on the right. It's called Find More Resources when you actually go on the website. 3. Get help. And 4. Contact the library. That's all the way at the bottom of the page, and there are many ways to contact them. Now let's learn how to find databases to identify methods for finding databases.
Finding databases. This video is part of a two-part series. Part 1 explained what a research database is. Part 2 will explain the benefits of searching databases individually and the options for how to find them. Obviously, in most cases, you should start your research using the homepage search box. It's the most comprehensive search you can do of the resources the library has to offer. Also, since it searches databases from a variety of subject areas, if you're looking for info on a multidisciplinary topic, you'll get a wide variety of perspectives. For example, you might be researching electric cars and are interested in some of the technical aspects like battery life, but are also interested in other aspects, including the effect on the automotive industry. This search tool is perfect for this. However, for more effective research, you'll also need to dig deeper by selecting one or more databases to search individually. Remember, there are many databases in our collection that are not searchable using the basic search on the library's homepage. So, how do you find and search them? The Resources by Type and Resources by Subject sections allow you to browse lists of databases and select one or more databases to search. There's also an alphabetical list if you already know the name of the database you're looking for. In general, it's a good idea to search more than one database during your research based on what's relevant to your topic. After all, each database contains different sources of information with very little overlap. If you're interested in a certain type of resource, choose Resources by Type. There are many types of resource you can choose from. Think about what your information need is in order to make a choice. For example, if you're looking for a resource that pulls a lot of research together and presents multiple perspectives, then you could look at our list of databases containing books, because that's what books do. Bring it all together. Alternatively, if your topic of interest falls into a particular subject area, choose Resources by Subject. This section of the website leads to pages listing databases that focus on specific areas of study, like business, engineering, or health sciences. Often, we've helpfully broken larger topics down even further to show you the most targeted databases for your needs. Some pages are on popular topics and provide helpful guidance. Others are simple lists of databases to choose from. Subject-based databases often have special search features that relate to how research and information are organized within that subject area. So, for example, on this nursing page, we could choose CINAHL, which focuses on nursing research. CINAHL lets you search for research on patients based on the age category that interests you. Can't do that with the homepage search. Let's take a look at another subject area. When determining which database to choose, glance over the description and note the types of sources the database contains. ABI Inform is a database with important business magazines, so if I'm looking to explore professional opinions and commentary, that'd be a great database to check out. Canadian Newsstand allows me to search for articles from major Canadian newspapers. If I'm looking for info on current events and opinions, newspapers would be a good choice, and thus, so would Canadian Newsstand. Database interfaces, or how the database looks and works, can vary depending on the company that made them, but there are always similarities in how you use them. Once you know how to effectively search one database, the search skills you learn can be transferred to another database.
Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about finding databases, let's answer some questions. First, what is the most effective way to find resources that focus on a Canadian perspective? Would you use the Find Resources by Subject tool and look for databases that specifically mention Canadian content in the descriptions and then look for a red maple leaf beside the title? Would you add Canada to your search terms, or would you change the settings on your drop-down menus besides your search terms? You would actually use the Find Resources by Subject tool and look for databases that specifically mention Canadian content in their descriptions. The ones that are Canadian will have a little red maple leaf beside the title. Okay, let's discuss advanced search tools and identify strategies for searching with phrases. This will be really helpful when you start doing your research.
Searching with phrases. You can use phrase searching to make sure the words you are searching are found together. To understand how this works, let's use the following research question as a basis. When you enter search terms into a search box, most databases treat the words separately. Your search results will include articles and books, etc., in which the words appear somewhere, not necessarily together. You end up with a large number of search results, many of which may be irrelevant to your search. To improve the relevance of your results, you may want the database to retrieve results that only contain certain groups of words together. These are called phrases. For example, electric cars and environmental impacts are both phrases. To ensure groups of words are found together, just place quotation marks around the words. This causes the database to search for articles containing those exact phrases, so you end up with fewer results, but they are more relevant to your search. Thanks for listening. Please explore our other advanced searching tutorials for more tips.
So now that we've watched that video, which of the following best uses quotation marks to create logical phrases? So if you were doing the search, which would be the most useful one to you? A, in quotation marks, the words supply chains, and then separately retail industry in quotation marks, or separately environmental sustainability in quotation marks? Or would you do supply chains and retail industry in quotation marks, and then separately environmental sustainability in quotation marks? Or C, would you do supply chains with no quotation marks, and then retail industry with quotation marks, and then environmental sustainability with quotation marks? The best way to do it to get you the best results would be the first option. Now let's talk about more advanced search tools.
Advanced Searching Part 4. Refining your results with filters. Before or after you've run a search, you can narrow the focus of your search results using a variety of limiters. This helps you zero in on resources that are most relevant. On the library's homepage, you can use some popular filters even before you search. You can run a default search of articles, books, and videos, but many students want to find only certain types of sources. The options to the left of the search box allow you to choose. There's even an option to search for a database by its name if you're looking for a specific tool. Check out our Finding Databases tutorial for more on this. You can use one of these filters, or just run a default search for articles, books, and videos. Once you've run a search, there are many options for filtering the results. Let's explore a few of the popular filters. In nearly all databases, you can limit to only peer-reviewed journals. You'll also notice the popular source types, which we saw as filters before our search, listed here too. Another popular filter allows you to limit your results to a certain date range to ensure the results are current enough for your needs. Further down the page, there are additional categories for filtering, such as by source type. Use source type if you want to tap into the particular types of information common to specific types of publications. For example, if you are looking for industry trends, they are often found in trade journals or trade publications. One of the most powerful limiters is the subject limiter. You can use it to see only results that have been classified as being about a certain subject, which helps you go beyond finding results that simply contain your keywords in any context, including irrelevant ones, to finding results that are absolutely on your subject. Many of these limiters are available prior to searching as well, using the Advanced Search's drop-down categories. Use multiple search boxes to combine different limiter categories. These categories are also often called fields. Remember operators? The Advanced Search allows you to search different limiter categories using operators. Wow, look at those articles. They're right on topic. If you have any questions about using filters, contact the library for further assistance. Advanced Search.
So, what limiter would you use to find only articles from trade publications? For example, periodicals produced by industry professionals for industry professionals. Now, if you remember back in the video, on the left-hand side, there were some popular filters, and if you scroll down a little bit, the next category was called source type, and that was where you could find trade publications. So this concludes our slideshow for now. I do have another video posted on the CARS evaluation tool, which is something you can use when you're deciding if a tool is useful to you or not. There's also a lot more information on eConestoga, both the regular COMM1085 course shell and the course shell for the online resources. And please email me if you have any questions.